Greetings, brothers and sisters. My name is Brother John Hargrove, a service president for the Dr. Julius Nyeri CBPM Division 421 Atlanta Division of the UNIA-ACL, the Universal Negro Improvement Association, founded by the Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey, July 1914, Kingston, Jamaica. Tonight, it was a TBA on the agenda, which I think is rightfully so. We're following up from Malcolm X Day past weekend and African Liberation Day, which took place yesterday. And this was an opportunity for us as a division to be visible in the community, as we've talked about so often. And with that visibility comes questions as to who the UNIA is, who is Marcus Garvey, why is he important, why is the UNIA important, and pretty much what are we doing today. So officers, I know we didn't talk about this, but I know y'all are always ready. And we talk about the importance of having reports. So when we get to officers' reports, that'll be an opportunity for us to let the community know what Division 421 is doing today to maintain Mr. Garvey's legacy and to provide and help for our people, and answer any questions that anyone may have. So first thing we'll touch on is some of the foundation of the UNIA as set forth by Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey and the philosophies and opinions. First thing that we do, as always, here at Division 421, we honor the structure of the UNIA and make sure we try to maintain our meetings as a sacred space for our people. And the ways in which we do that is through our rituals. First one we do is the pledge to the UNIA flag. So if you would, please come off mute if you know the words. Please say it along with me. If you don't, just please say it in your mind, and next time we'll be able to say it together. I commit my body, mind, and spirit protection
to the protection, defense, and security of the red, black, and green.
I dedicate my life
to the redemption of Mother Africa
and
the liberation of her scattered children.
I accept for myself
and my descendants
the
teachings of universal African nationalism.
And I promise
that I will be instilled
with the purpose and knowledge of themselves as African people. In order that the
cause of our struggle will never falter
nor fail,
till all black people are free and united under one God, one aim,
and one destiny. Race first, family.
Race first.
All right, y'all can relax and go back on mute. Well, please go on mute if you got background. If you can stay off mute and be respectful, then that's fine as well. Following up our pledge, we have UNIA Rituals, as stated forth by founder, Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey. We try to maintain to those rituals. For the new people, this requirement or mandate comes from Mr. Garvey's Message to the People, Course of African Philosophy, page 169. It says you should always observe the proper form opening and closing a meeting, as well as the proper form of conducting the meeting of the association. They are as follows: 1, opening hymn from Greenland's Icy Mountains; 2, reading of the prayers and rituals. We're not going to go all the way through that. And 3, after prayer, sing "Shine On, Eternal Light," or "O Africa, Awaken." So we'll go through these rituals. So as officer of chaplain, I'll step up and take care of our rituals. From Greenland's icy mountains, from India's coral strand, where Africa's sunny fountains roll down their golden sand. From many ancient rivers, from many palmy plains, they call us to deliver their land from error's chain. Shall we whose souls are lighted, shall we who with wisdom from on high, shall we to men be knighted, the lamp of life deny? Salvation, O salvation, the joyful sound proclaim, till earth's remotest nation has learned Messiah's name. Waft, waft, ye winds, his story, and you, ye waters, roll, till like a sea of glory it spreads from pole to pole. Till o'er our ransomed nation, the Lamb for sinners slain, Redeemer, King, Creator, in bliss returns to reign. Amen. Closed captioning, what in the world? All right. Continuing with, wait a minute. Sorry. Didn't get all my rituals. Yeah, we got a little bit. Lord's Prayer. I'll just do the first part of that. I'm not gonna do the whole thing. Where's the, that was it. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. It's the whole thing. Here it is. Something wrong up here. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. And lastly, I'll do shine on eternal light. Shine on eternal light to greet our souls this day, dispel the gloominess of night, and drive our doubts away. Our longing I prepare when war and strife shall cease, to view the morn soon to appear, the new era of peace. Thy glorious church, O God, no kingdom can remove, made without hands, this blessed abode, the harbinger of love. Of all the gifts that flow from thy great throne above, we ask thee on our hearts bestow the gift of perfect love. My soul the light receives and dares the truth to prove, not in bound ignorance believes, but knows that God is love. Come, love, and give new birth to man's destructive mind. Spread where confusion reigns on earth, goodwill to all mankind. Shine on, eternal light. Thy penetrating ray shall turn the honor of darkest night into eternal day. Amen. All right, and we will open up our meeting officially now with our topic. Oh, no, I got to do roll call, and then we'll go to topic. Preamble.
I got the roll call, John.
You got, oh, well, let me do preamble, then say again, who, that was Brother Art or Brother O'Macy?
Yeah. Yeah, I could do the roll call.
All right, 1 second. I forgot preamble. And also I forgot to remind you, minutes from previous meeting, if you could have those handy. I was looking for them as well.
Okay.
We can talk to, kind of give everyone that continuity of what we've been discussing. So I'll go preamble, then I'll hand it to you for a roll call. Thank you, Brother Art. Preamble of the UNIA-ACL comes from our Constitution. New members, I owe y'all all a Constitution. If you paid your $10 joining fee, you are due a Constitution. We did not have any physical copies for Malcolm X Day or African Liberation Day, but that is a requirement that we owe members that have paid their joining fee. So please keep us remind us, don't let us forget that we owe you that. And I definitely owe you all a digital copy of the Constitution draft as well. That's something that you can use in the meantime. But the preamble, the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League is a social, friendly, humanitarian, charitable, educational, institutional, constructive, and expansive society, and is founded by persons desiring to the utmost to work for the general uplift of the Negro peoples of the world. and the members pledge themselves to do all in their power to conserve the rights of their noble race and to respect the rights of all mankind, believing always in the brotherhood of man, God. The motto of the organization is one God, one aim, one destiny. Therefore, let justice be done to all mankind, realizing that the strong oppresses the weak. Confusion and discontent will ever mark the path of man. But with love, faith, and charity towards all, the reign of peace and plenty will be heralded into the world, and the generations of men shall be called blessed. So that's another way we kind of identify ourselves. So, Brother Art, if you could do roll call in minutes, and then I'll just touch on ground rules briefly before we go into the topic. Brother, are you there? Brother Anthony, 1 second. Yes. We're going to do questions before
Yeah, I'm here. Had trouble getting unmuted. Greetings, family. Today's roll call is President John. This is a Zoom attendance. Dr. Shams, Brother Eric, Brother Najee, Sister Brittany, Brother Anthony, Brother Langston, Omasius, Brian, Tina, Second Lady Vice President Diane, Attorney General Imhotep, First Lady President Raw Ebony, and Sister Shan. Okay, on the conference line, I don't know who this number is, but it looks like it's only one person.
Oh, that 205.
Pardon?
That 205 number?
Yeah.
You don't know who that is.
Okay.
Oh, it's Brother Nkosi. All right, hang tight, Brother Nkosi. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, yeah, you good, Brother Nkosi. Brother out of down here in the Southwest. Couple corrections. Sister Ra Ebony as our Lady President, just Lady President, no numbers in front. And Sister Diane is First Lady Vice President. And also, Attorney Imhotep, we all kind of mess this up, but he's officially Counsel General, would be his title on the High Council.
Okay. All right.
Thank you for that. And that makes a total of what, 16 it says?
Yeah.
Just to point out for our officers absent, Brother Malik did give me a heads up. So he's out. Ross Marvin hadn't spoke with him, but I know he was working on the whirlwind, and he also sent out the text. So he's working behind the scene. Brother Cornelius, haven't heard from him in regards to this meeting. Brother James, haven't heard from him for this meeting as either. Brother Kimwardo or our elder coordinators, Brother Orman, Sister Amina. So they would be absent.
Okay.
Okay, so that takes care of our attendance, and we are preparing to go into the topic for today. Any questions or comments before we get started?
You want me to
Brother Anthony, did you have a question or just get to it?
Sister Aziza is also on the meeting.
Thank you. So it makes 17. Thank you for that update. Make sure that's documented. Any questions before we get started? And you will have an opportunity to ask questions once we complete the reading. Let me get my charger. I just realized I don't have my charger in my laptop. All right. So as I said, the goal for tonight is understanding of the UNIA and Mr. Garvey. Brother Art, I think your line is unmuted. You got some background noise. Understanding of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, Mr. Garvey, his legacy and how we maintain that legacy today. One of the critical texts that comprise, literally Mr. Garvey's philosophies is Philosophies and Opinions of Marcus Garvey. So that's where we will go tonight. On Tuesdays, we will invite members to our Race First study group. That's where we're going through the text Race First written by Dr. Tony Martin. And also, let me just make a note for those that were able to attend orientation or have attended orientation before. Where's that information? Where would I put that information? Trying to find a book list that we talk about in orientation. Forward. If somebody, no, I sent it out. One second. If I can't find it, I can't find it. Yeah, new member welcome packet. That's what it would be. Perfect. Okay, found it. So new member, old member, anyone that is a follower of Mr. Garvey and UNIA, there's the foundation or repository of information, and we call that the Marcus Garvey Library or the new Marcus Garvey Library. Of those books, there's a list of books: Literary Garveyism, Poetical Works of Marcus Garvey Hero, Amy Ashwood, Pan-Africanist Feminist Fundamentalism by Dr. Tony Martin, Pan-African Connection, From Slavery to Garvey and Beyond, in addition to some other texts, Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams, New World Order, Garveyism in the Age of Globalism, Amos Wilson, Marcus Garvey Papers by Robert Hill. But the three, we can't read everything all at the same time. The three that we have focused on here, more recently, we have to focus more on philosophy and opinions but one is Message to the People, of course, of African Philosophy, text by Marcus Garvey. As I said, Race First by Dr. Tony Martin, our First Lady Vice President. I'm sure when she speaks on her report, we'll give an update as to where we are with that text and how individuals can get involved with our study of that text. And tonight we're going to look at a little bit of Philosophies and Opinions by Marcus Garvey, compiled by his wife, Amy Jocks Garvey. Dr. Sham, slow down on the chat, bro. So, as I said, y'all saw the, see if I'm sharing the right page. No, I'm not. So this is what my version of the text looks like, the cover. There's a lot of different appearances of it, but the information is what's important. You just want to make sure you got a good text with the right information. So there's a couple passages in here that I went through and I felt were pertinent for a new person, and kind of also gives you some guidance as to where you can get more information. You can't depend on anyone to give you the whole truth, but we can at least let you know where to find it. All right. This collection entitled Philosophies and Opinions of Marcus Garvey was collected, compiled, and published by Garvey's wife, Miss Amy Joss Garvey, in 1923. In addition to being a devoted wife and confidant, Amy Joss Garvey served as a general secretary of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, African Communities League, UNIA-ACL. The year 1923 is important. That was when, let me see, he wasn't incarcerated until 25, but he was, I believe he was, Attorney Motep, correct me if I'm wrong, but Mr. Garvey was first convicted in 1923, or not convicted, but what's the word when they accused, I guess, I assume, in 1923? Was that when he was first served his papers?
I believe so, indicted felony charges.
Got you. So yeah, 1923, important. All of these years in the 1920s, very important. But just keep in mind when this text was compiled and by who. Let's see, that one. This one. UNIA-ACL's first president, General Marcus Garvey, was railroaded into federal felony charges. U.S. government and its surveillance agency orchestrated mail fraud charges via the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI. Young enthusiastic agent John Edgar Hoover, who became Garvey's nemesis, spearheaded the FBI investigation. So when individuals wonder what happened to Mr. Garvey, what happened to the UNIA movement, we have to study the United States government, FBI, and their involvement in what we would consider Black nationalist organizations. So yeah, as it kind of mentions later, it seems as though Hoover's life ambition was the destruction of progressive Black nationalist organizations and their leaders by enemies necessary through the imprisonment and or assassination. Marcus Garvey and UNIA was Hoover's last known victim. Was it fast or first? Fast. There might have been a typo. Known victim, unfortunately, it was not his last. So, essence of Marcus Garvey's philosophies and opinion was the cry for liberation of Africans throughout the diaspora, especially for those Africans in the Western Hemisphere who had received their so-called freedom less than 100 years prior to the establishment of the UNIA-ACL. So that was the purpose of the text, was to enlighten us as to our potential through what we will come to find out later is organization, forms of organization. Before the surge of Black Power movement in the mid to late 60s, many scholars did not give but fleeting mention to Garvey and his work, nor to the massive Black nationalist organizations he co-founded with his first wife, Amy Ashwood, in 1914, and thereafter led across the African world during the 1920s. So as to why the Garvey movement and Mr. Garvey and the UNIA is not very well known, this is part of it. Honestly, it's partially our own fault as a people, those that we consider scholars. I think the text talks about politicians, leaders, and the form of Garveyism that was portrayed and promoted to future generations. So some of the people that the text highlight are or promote that did speak to Garveyism in the correct spirit were Walter Rodney, Rupert Lewis, Tony Martin, as we talked about, Dr. Tony Martin, Robert Hill, author of UNIA Papers. Musicians that he mentioned, Burning Spear, Peter Tosh, Robert Bob Marley, Culture, Black Uhuru, Still Pulse, Sizzla, Anthony B. Capleton, and most recently Chronics, amongst a long list. So in addition to some not promoting Mr. Garvey in the right spirit, the text also highlighted some individuals that have promoted and maintained Mr. Garvey in the right spirit, or what they would consider the right spirit. All right. Let's see. Chargers, Essence, 100 Years, Walter Rodney, Burning Spear. Qualitatively, little has changed for the Africans living in the United States and elsewhere. Globally, Marcus Mosiah Garvey speaks eloquently on this when he emphatically declares that, quote, a race without authority and power is a race without respect. Garvey goes on to point to members of the African race to see candidly that, quote, the greatest weapon used against the Negro is disorganization, end quote. As Garvey leads African people forward, he calls out the dispossessed journeying outside, the dispossessed journeying outside of the African continent to take heed and remember Africa for the Africans at home and abroad. So when he talks about the dispossessed journeying, that would be the diaspora. We must remember Africa for the Africans, those at home and those abroad. We should be aware of the Negro World newspaper, the history of Negro World, if we can find copies of the Negro World. That was Mr. Garvey and the UNIA's primary publication, but that is getting the message from the horse's mouth, so to speak, but from the actual source. In 1919, Mr. Garvey writes, quote, in a world of wolves, one should go armed, and one of the most powerful defensive weapons within the reach of Negroes is the practice of race first in all parts of the world. So you'll hear Garveyites and us in Division 421 say race first as a confirmation, you know, we use it quite a bit, but it's somewhat of a mantra. We have our motto, one God, one aim, one destiny. We have our slogan, Africa for the Africans, those at home and those abroad. Race first has become somewhat of a mantra in the UNIA and here at Division 421, but from the words of Mr. Garvey. Talks about some of the influence that Mr. Garvey had. More specifically, Garvey and his movements inspired those such as Ghana's Kwame Nkrumah, China's Mao Zedong, Vietnam's Ho Chi Minh, Stokely Carmichael, also known as Kwame Ture, Elijah Poole, who became Elijah Muhammad, the Nation of Islam, Malcolm X, El Hajj Malik El Shabazz. We should know that his parents were Garveyites, and they were bringing him up in Garvey tutelage. Kenya's Jomo Kenyatta, Peter Tosh, Burning Spear, Bob Marley, and many other well-known Black nationalists across the globe. They are children of Garvey. Let us hail and honor triumphantly the Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey by studying his works thoroughly and by teaching it in the schools from kindergarten to post-secondary. We must ensure that Garvey and his teachings are not erased or forgotten from history, from the history books, nor from the psyche of our children. The philosophies of Garvey must be spread again throughout the entire African diaspora as a gospel to instill self-pride in our people. The aims and objects, number two, the second aim is pride and love. So to instill pride in our people, that's back to our foundation. We must encourage our youth to read and comprehend his teaching, commencing in homes, media, religious institutions, and social and education institutions. Our African youth must see the need to join or build progressive organizations and institutions to empower African people. So if anyone we've talked to, what UNIA stands for, what it's about, what it's always been about, what it's about today, organization, progressive organizations, but organizations to empower the continent and the people, the diaspora. That's essentially what we continue today. Make sure this is aligned. One of Mr. Garvey's, let's see, African Liberation. Let us listen to the spirit of Garvey as he speaks to us from the depths of his grave, and it admonishes us. Quote, you have Africa. You are in other callous, and islands of the sea. You are millions upon millions strong. I appeal to you, stop being the underdogs and footstools of others. Stop complaining within and talking about bad luck and misfortune. Shake yourself. Get up and start over. Overcome the ills around you. You are responsible for what you are, what you want to be. Blame no one but yourself. You have the chance. What you want is the will to do and to dare others to stop you. That is why they watch you so carefully, that you may not get away with any progressive ideas which would be a surprise to the world of theirs. Mr. Garvey is constantly reminding us our condition is of no one's fault but our own, especially at this time. And that's specifically in relation to our lack of ability to organize. If we come together, which no one can stop us from doing, overnight we become the most powerful force the world has ever seen. And you know, that's what this is about. Doing that in a righteous way is a way I could say that. Maybe I should just go through. Lying is here. Mr. Garvey says, quote, lying. Let me get a little bit of water. Mr. Garvey says, quote, lying and stealing is the white man's game. For rights of God nor man, he has no shame. A practice of his throughout the world. At all great thunderbolts he has hurled. At all great thunderbolts he has hurled. He has stolen everywhere, land and sea. A buccaneer and pirate he must be, killing all as he roams from place to place, leaving disease, Mongols, moral disgrace. So part of what Mr. Garvey criticizes when it comes to other races, particularly the Caucasian race, is that they have a history of brutality and being uncivilized, and they have no measure, or they are no judge of civility. But again, yeah, our condition is our fault currently. Continuing, it is therefore imperative that everyone that read this introduction, as well as any of Garvey's texts, I would argue, as a call to action and a call for full liberation that is yet to be realized for Africans in Jamaica and all over the world. It is not enough to read the ideas of Garvey, as you will read shortly, and sit back like our governments. Once you have received an ounce of his words and reflect upon the ensued conditions of Black people in various parts of the world, you must join in the global fight to restore the greatness of African people without apology. For over 50 years, Garveyites, Rastafarians, and other Black nationalists from around the world made this call. However, the politicians and those who set themselves as leaders, though quoting and labeling themselves as Garveyites, did not educate the people of the true nature and spirit of Marcus Garvey. These so-called leaders were accustomed to imparting basic biological information, such as when and where he was born, when he died, and that the headquarters for his organization was at Liberty Hall on 76 King Street. The revolutionary essence of Marcus Garvey was skirted around and in most cases avoided. Mr. Garvey states, quote, education is the medium by which a people are prepared for the creation of their own civilization and the advancement and glory of their own race. So education, we have to be very critical of what we consider education. Continue. I'll just use this. To share the message of Garvey accurately, this must be done within the principle of African fundamentalism. So those that were there for for Malcolm X Day, that signed up at Malcolm X Day, we had our handouts that included a copy of African fundamentalism. If you have not received a copy, if you like a copy, let me know. You should be able to type in African fundamentalism in Google, but it's a very important speech by Mr. Garvey. Very important concept that Mr. Garvey brought to the forefront. So, yeah, we got to know some things in background to understand some of the messages that are being given. So when they touch on, we should have a spirit of African fundamentalism, we have to know what African fundamentalism is. So please look that up. If you need a copy, we can work it out. But please look it up. It's online. Stop sharing that. All right, continue reading. African fundamentalism. One of the sections of African fundamentalism states, quote, "The creed of African fundamentalism must be maintained and protected every day. It is a philosophy that is to serve as a guide to the Negro peoples of the world. The other people do not live their lives by chance. They have a creed to guide them. Our race is the only one that has not done that. And so long as we continue the stack methods, so long as we will be the slaves of the world. We must stop living by chance. We must plan our journey of life. Our black print, African fundamentalism, seeks to, quote, emancipate the Negro from the thoughts of others who are encouraging him to act on their opinions and thoughts." Couple things caught my attention. Students of course of African philosophy should also be aware. We must stop living by chance. We must plan our own journey. Mr. Garvey talks about the importance of being self-reliant and being the captains of our own ships and basically planning our own journey. He says that if we can't do that, we consider others superior because we basically allowed them to plan our lives. So interesting that one of those sentiments that is consistent throughout Garvey's teachings. We must stop living by chance. We must plan our journey of life. Our black print, African fundamentalism, seeks to, quote, emancipate the Negro from the thoughts of others who are encouraging him to act on their opinions and thoughts. This touches on two things that Mr. Garvey taught in Message to the People. One is propaganda. He teaches us how propaganda is a way of individuals encouraging or influencing, I think is a word that's used a lot nowadays, people's thoughts and the things that we're thinking about, the things that we consider important. Encouraging him to act on their opinions and thoughts. Oh, but also emancipate the Negro from the thoughts of others. Course of African philosophy, again, the purpose, as Mr. Garvey said, was to instill a fierce, learn an African-centered mentality and to make sure that we were void of anything that would subjugate our people. So those are consistent philosophies and teachings of Mr. Garvey. Greetings, Brother Polly, or Sister Polly. We've heard the line in Bob Marley film was out recently, a very popular film. We've heard it before: emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. So that was I think Garvey said that quote at some point, but it's somewhat of a paraphrase of what we have here. Mr. Garvey says, quote, to emancipate yourselves from mental, spiritual, and economic slavery to the whites, you must accept something original, something racially your own. And that is what we want you, the Negroes, to accept. A philosophy entirely your own, serviceable to your actions, and cease imitating the thoughts of others. Philosophy entirely your own. As Brother Oster has taught us, one of Mr. Garvey's greatest accomplishments was to sell the Black race back to itself. Trying to get us as people to accept our own philosophy, and a philosophy that is beneficial to us. See if I got anything else in here. Oh, this is a good long part. Y'all gotta bear with me. I need to get some water before I drink this. Should be finishing up, wrapping up, and getting ready for questions by 6 o'clock. So this is the preface. We're going into the preface of the text. So what we just read was in the introduction. Okay, and now we're in the preface. And we will get to the I think they may touch on the author of the preface here. The author of the introduction, sorry about that, Brother Miguel Lorne out of Kingston, Jamaica. He wrote that in February 2016. So everything that we just read came from Brother Lorne, outside of obviously the quotes. The quotes came directly from Garvey, but we should know sources. Preface, this volume is compiled. Where did this volume come from? What is Philosophies and Opinions of Marcus Garvey? This volume is compiled from the speeches and articles delivered and written by Marcus Garvey from time to time. My purpose for compiling same primarily was not for publication, but rather to keep as a personal record of the opinions and sayings of my husband during his career as the leader of that portion of the human family known as the Negro race. However, on second thought, I decided to publish this volume in order to give the public an opportunity of studying and forming an opinion of him, not from inflated and misleading newspaper and magazine articles, but from expressions and thoughts enunciated by him in defense of his oppressed and struggling race, so that by his own words he may be judged. And Negroes the world over may be informed and inspired, for truth brought to light forces conviction, and a state of conviction inspires action. That's very powerful. The history of contact between white and Black races for the last 300 years or more records only a series of pillages, wholesale murders, atrocities, brutalities, industrial exploitation, disenfranchisement, I think that's supposed to be disfranchisement of one on the other, the strong against the weak. But the sun of evolution is gradually rising, shedding its light between the clouds of misery and oppression, and quickening and animated to racial consciousness and eventual national independence, Black men and women the world over. I got stuck on that because of that strong against the weak. That's another continuous concept Mr. Garvey touches on. There's always going to be strong against the weak, and that's why he promotes organization. By being disorganized, we're automatically weak against anything that's organized. Continuing, it is human, therefore, that few of us within the Negro race can comprehend this transcendent period. We all suffer in a more or less degree. We all feel this awakened spirit of true manhood and womanhood, but it is given to few the vision of leadership. It is an inspiration. It is a quality born in man. That reminds me of a scripture. The harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. Continuing, therefore, in the course of leadership, it is natural that one should meet opposition because of ignorance, lack of knowledge, and sympathy of the opposition in understanding fully the spirit of leadership. With the dawn of this new era, which precedes the day of national independence for Negroes, it is well for all members of the race to understand their leadership, know what its essentials, its principles are, and help it to attain its goal and liberate a race in the truest sense of the word. Then they talk about how the text is conformed, chapter 1, gems of expression convincing the truth. So these are like definitions, some can consider precepts. Chapter 2 deals with definitions, exposition of various interesting themes, so the definition of themes. Chapter 3 and 4, collection of brief essays on the subjects affecting the world conditions, generally Negroes in particular. And chapter 5, 2 of the best speeches of her husband. It is my sincere hope and desire that this small volume will help to disseminate among the members of my race everywhere the true knowledge of their past history, the struggles and strivings of the present leadership, and the glorious future of national independence in a free and redeemed Africa, achieved through organized purpose and organized action. And that preface is written by Sister Amy Jocks Garvey, the second wife of Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey. And that completes the basis of what I had for the start. If there isn't anything else, I will share one of Mr. Garvey's speeches. But we'll stop for questions. Any questions, comments, concerns on Philosophies and Opinions of Marcus Garvey or the UNIA?
Race first. Go ahead,
Dr.
sister.
Sheriff.
Go ahead, sister.
Thank you. My name is Alexandra Lynn Grice. I'm from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And I wanted you to paraphrase the fundamentals of a Black mentality so I can write it down, so I can put it under like a lamp and say it every day.
Paraphrase the fundamentals of a Black mentality?
Because I came in intuitively like you were speaking on that note.
I can't personally, but I understand what you're asking. You're talking about African fundamentalism. If you hold that, we may have some time to actually just go through it. It's not very long, so we may be able to just go through it.
Okay, and that was the second question. If you can go back to it and I can write it word by word. Because I don't have this copy of documentation. And if Brother Roz Marvin is on the call, if you have this documentation that he's going over, you can email it to me. And if you have already emailed it to me, can you like tell me the name of it again so I can find it in my files? Thank you.
Sure. It's African fundamentalism.
I think she's referring to one of the passage that you read from Philosophies and Opinion.
But I thought she was saying the
you had it highlighted in yellow.
Okay.
Okay.
National independence for Negroes. It is well for all members of the race to understand their leadership, know what is essential, its principles are, and to help attain its goal and liberate a race in the truest sense of the word. This is saying that we have to know the principles of our organization, basically. It doesn't list the principles, but it says we have to know what they are. So briefly, if you'd like to write them down, 2 places, aims and objects. and our preamble is where I would go. For the ancient objects, originally we had 11, currently we have 10, but I'll share the 11. Number 1 is the universal confraternity and or organization. So all of us organized amongst the diaspora. 2,
Universal CON fraternity.
yes, CON fraternity, FRATERNITY. I see we got
Okay.
questions styling up, lining up. 2, promote pride and love.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
3, reclaim the fallen. 1 second, Langston.
Okay.
4, assist the needy.
Okay.
5 is to help Africa. 6, a little bit long, help independent African nations. 7 is ambassadors / embassies. And you can put parentheses representatives. So that'll be that's the principle, but it's basically that we will have representatives in every area where our people live. So someone that can speak for that community. So those are ambassadors, and they would work in embassies.
Okay.
Number 8, conscientious spiritual worship.
Okay.
Number 9 is education, race first education. But it's to build institutions, but education, race first would be solid.
Okay.
Number 10, global African economy.
Okay.
And number 11 is to do all in our power to help any Negro in any community. It's basically, Mr. Garvey says, there's always work to be done, leave no stone unturned. So anything not listed specifically that is for the benefit of our race and our people is number 11.
Okay.
So those are our principles.
Thank you. That answers my question.
Thank you for that. Great question. Brother Langston, I saw you had your hand up. I'm reading.
Yeah, can you hear me okay? Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can. I was reading the question. Sister Cicely, that is fine.
Oh, go ahead.
But go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead. No,
sorry.
no, no. Go ahead, Brother Langston.
All
You got the
right.
floor.
Yeah. Thank you for walking through those documents. I just wanted to say that I, think Marcus Garvey is a great thinker, and I agree with, pretty much every one of his ideas and his sentiments. And I'm really excited to hear how, the organization is carrying that legacy through its contemporary work whenever we get to that discussion. But my question was sort of about the presentation of some of his ideas and how we talk about the UNIA. There were a couple of ideas of his that, while I think I agree with the sentiment, and he even, talks about the essence of what he's really getting at. I think sometimes the presentation of the idea might might not always be what I would agree with. Like one example might be, that our predicament is not our fault, as a race. And I understand what he's getting at. I think like the essence of that is that like we are the solution to the problem, and like no one else is going to help us. We have to be the ones to do it. But I do think, academically, historically, there is a clear and I don't know enough about African history to understand what preceded, European colonialism, Arab colonialism, things of that nature. So maybe there is an argument that, really is our fault, but I think there is a history of what the African in America has been through is, you know, the fault of the oppressor, and how there's physical and psychological harm that has generational impacts, and how those were intentional. And so I think just in the messaging of that, and this is just one example, I think the message of like your oppression uh, is not anyone else's fault. It's like there are structures and institutions that are oppressing us, and I think acknowledging that and the impacts of that, I think, are like necessary for having a race first mindset. But so I don't think that contradicts, what Garvey's ultimate sentiment is. But I'm wondering how much space is there in the organization for, I guess, nuanced critiques like that, where it's still getting at the essence of Garvey, but I think it's doing what he says about, still having a philosophy that's entirely of our own, that's, very much informed by the past, but, learns from it and sort of builds on it, if that makes sense.
Yes, my response to what you're saying, as you were speaking, diplomacy is what came to my mind. How do we communicate effectively but not offensively? And I think that is something that evolves over time. And that's another reason why knowing the full context of what Mr. Garvey's saying and when he is saying it. He transitioned at an early age of 53 years old, but in the 1920s, he was in his early 30s. And throughout that 20-year period, or longer, he had an evolution of perspective as well. So I understand what you're saying, and you're right. You are correct. But Mr. Garvey isn't wrong either. There does become I don't want to say jaded, but a realization of our potential, basically. Especially when you look at us in the United States, we talk about this all the time as a group. Amongst the Africans on the continent and in the diaspora, we are the most funded, the most educated, the most, we all speak the same language. So we have the largest potential to come together and form a body. But we haven't done that yet. But
That makes sense.
It's two sides.
That makes complete sense. I understand what you're saying.
Well, yeah, I think it's a time component that comes in. When we first start out, and we still try to maintain that. We look at the structures that are around us and why we're in the position that we're in. But after 5 to 10 years of education and discussing these problems, and we haven't developed a solution yet, that's when we kind of have to start questioning ourselves.
Can I add to that, President John?
Yes, go ahead, First Vice President. This is our First Vice President, Brother Macias. Greetings, Brother Macias.
Yes, greetings, family. My name is Brother Macias, First Vice President. And I just wanted to speak to the question and the thought that the brother had, and hopes to add a little context to. And I think about a person who has just gotten knocked down, And in most cases, he'll have two thoughts. You guys mentioned that it was two things earlier. That person who's knocked down, he has two thoughts normally. And both of them are true. In one case, it's I've gotten beat. I'm beat. And then sometimes another thought is, man, but I could have beaten him. And I think it's important to take record of the energy that both of these thoughts can do to that person based off of which one he holds on to the most. And the thought of I have been beaten, if one is to take on that thought, in my imagination, the energy of his defeat will cause him to grow into a person who always feels defeated. But a person who says, oh, I could have beaten him, oftentimes the benefit of holding on to that thought, holding on to the thought that only reason he beat me because I didn't train hard enough. Only reason he beat me is because I allowed my defenses to get down and he caught me in the lip. I think I respect in basketball Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, and I think the expectation was the other person was coming to beat them every night. And for me, I expect the oppressor to do whatever he can to destroy me, to be able to get the resources that he believes he needs for his family in any kind of way. And it's my job, our job, to make sure that we remember our power. We remember the fact that we have the ability to defeat anybody that comes up against us. And I think that is what Marcus Garvey wants us to remember the most. He wants us to hold on to the truth of our power. And that's why in the Message of the People, he talks about our direct relationship to God, or the direct relationship that gives us the abilities that we have inside of us. It's important for us to remember who we are, what we are, and what we are made of. And what we are made of is the stuff that can defeat anything that comes up against us. And if we remember that, I'm sure we'll go to the gym, we'll try harder, and we'll come together, which we hope and glad everybody's here to do, so that we can achieve these great ordeals that our founder, Marcus Garvey, has set out for us. Thank you.
Thank you, First Vice President.
If I could just, quickly respond to that.
Yes.
Not to take up too much time. That makes complete sense to me, and I understand, Mr. Garvey's sentiment. And I guess, I hold that same mindset, at age 26. I guess what I'm getting at is that folks, I think, have to be brought up or trained in having that mindset. It's not something that comes naturally when you are born into an oppressive system. And so, I think about what like young Black boys and Black girls are going through when they get knocked down as children, and how, it's not innate for everyone to always get up and fight. Like, some of the things that the system does to harm people is deeply destructive, and it harms development. And I think there's there's real evidence behind those claims. So I think it is important for us to strive towards that. I think we are made of the stuff that can beat, any opponent. And we have to come into that knowledge. But I think in messaging to people who are still being victimized by the existing systems, I think we have to acknowledge the totality of what this system has done to us. Like, there's a reason why we have come up with the solution and done things, and it's been destroyed, and the enemy has learned to, stop us from trying again. So there are, so that has real implications. And I just think we have to keep that in mind as well when we're trying to, really meet the needs of our people.
Yes, brother. And I will say this. What you're saying is 100% true. We definitely have to acknowledge both sides. And Marcus Garvey does do that. He acknowledges the aims of whatever we call the white man, the oppressor, the Jews. He talks about it all. We definitely do take record of that and understand that a part of it is he called it the backwards tribes. We have a backwards mindset because it is a psyop. It is psychological warfare that's going against us, and the warfare starts at the fact that we have been beaten. And I feel like that truth is one of the tools that has been used to continuously keep people in the victim mindset and not be able to get that. And it's our job to have understanding of where our people are. And we do have that understanding. Garvey talks about our people being there, and but we also understand that a remedy to that is by speaking the other truths of our power. So we definitely address both, and I appreciate your questions, man. Great points too.
Hey, real quick, to President, maybe send me this document. I can tell you my email right now so you can write it down.
You talking about the African fundamentalism document?
Yes, please.
Put your email
And
in the chat. I'll send it to you.
Okay. And then my second thing is, can you or anybody who's listening, can y'all drop y'all contact information, your Instagram, your Facebook, so Alexandria, can reach out to you. I just was in Atlanta. I loved it. I seen the office, and I want to visit all the other branches, and I want to, continue to be active person inside of the organization to continue to empower and improve our people. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Couple clarifications. Sisters, please don't share your personal contact information. I wasn't able to go over the ground rules. Couple things. That's one, sisters, don't give out your personal contact. If you have a business number or an email, that is fine. You can share that in the chat, but don't share your personal number. And also, Attorney Emotep will be serving as our Sergeant at Arms when it comes time for member share to make sure we stay within the time frame. But if you could put your email in the chat, I will send you. I'll send you the documents. Any other questions before we proceed? For the sake of time, I think I'm gonna hold off on the philosophy and opinions reading. There's a good lecture delivered at Liberty Hall, August 21st. This is one of what Sister Amy Jocks considered one of her favorite speeches. I was gonna share that with the group. If we have more time at a future meeting, we can do that, but I think this is a great speech as well. So if there aren't any other questions, then we will move to officer reports. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
Race first, Coastal Mooneyingo, Birmingham, Alabama. I wanted to know will like questions be able to be asked at the end of the meeting?
Yes. Yeah. We'll
everything that's been discussed.
Yes. But if you have a question on something that has been discussed specifically in regards to the topic, now would be the best time to bring that up.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask a question. I just wanted to know, will the questions be able to be asked and pertaining to the totality of everything that was discussed for today? That's what I wanted to ask.
Yes.
And you answered it. So that was it.
Not a problem. Thank you, brother.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Race first.
Race first. Any other questions? Okay.
Apologize.
Yes, someone said something. Brother Kosi, did you say something?
Yeah. I was just apologizing for interrupting. That's it.
Not a problem, brother. You fine.
President and everyone listening, I have one question. I know we have COVID-19 and we've been on Zoom, but when are we going to have a face-to-face meeting? I would like to meet you all face-to-face if we can. We can plan out years from now, months, weeks from now, just so I can see and feel the vibration of each individual who's in the office. I know Marcus Garvey is from Jamaica. I am American Jamaican. So I just wanted to get a head count of all the descendants of Jamaica, though, the bigger picture is descendants of Africa, just to see that we are still upholding and sustaining his Black empire, and as full Americans, though descendants of slavery from Africa, that y'all are, doing the same thing as well and keeping forward, but also remembering his Jamaican roots and ancestors. Very prevalently because we had to support him financially and spiritually as well. But I just wanted to know like when or if y'all have already planned meeting in person.
Um, we had a couple in-person meetings this past week, in 2 weeks. We will have, yeah, we our next big meeting will be Garvey Day in August. Haven't discussed anything outside of that right now. We want to make sure we got everything taken care of for Garvey Day before we distract ourselves. So
Okay. And
Garvey Day.
August, have you decided a location yet?
Yes, ma'am, we have.
Okay, and what's the location? I'm in North Carolina.
The Shrine of the Black Madonna. I don't have the location, but I don't have the address on me. Shrine of the Black Madonna, on Ralph David Abernathy in the West End, Atlanta.
Okay, and you talking about this August?
Yes, yeah, August 17th, 2024.
Okay, I look forward to making that date. I typed in the Shrine of Black Madonna. I'm gonna Google it, and see if they have an address online. And I'm gonna go ahead and start planning. I'm gonna be on the phone calls too, so I can make sure that I'm getting up to date. I would love to meet everybody in person, and just to make sure there's no, like past corruption, there's no future plans of corruption, there's no infiltration from other minds or white people. I just want people to like still push the same agendas and progress in your skill sets and just continue to build without being corrupted. That's what I'm looking for personally. And just keeping it clean, keeping it the same. But I digress. And I will look up the Shrine of the Black Madonna, and I will be looking for the date. You said in August, so I need a date and a time.
August
Thank you.
17th, 12 p.m. But
Okay, so August 17th at 12 p.m.
yes,
Okay. Thank you.
no problem. Thank you. Any other questions?
I have one more question. So I just Googled it. So it says 944 Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia, zip code 30310.
30310. Yes, that's correct.
Okay, I found the building. So I will definitely be there August the 17th at 12 p.m. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, my sister.
Lord willing,
Look forward to seeing you. That's how it's supposed to be. But no, I have a flyer for that in just a moment. So I'll share that. Officer reports. Anyone want to go first? Brother Mason, you want to share anything on the business side?
Sure. I go first. All right. Raised first family. Again, my name is Brother Macius. Of course, we talked about earlier. Our confraternity is built of 11 aims and objectives. I am your first vice president. Also serve as your business development coordinator. And in my position as business development coordinator, one of my major focuses is our 10th aim and objective to conduct a worldwide commercial and industrial intercourse for the good of the people. One of the things we always focus on is the aims that Garvey set out for us to dream of, and this talks about worldwide. And for me, that's the focus in all the things that we're building, developing, and we have going on right now. We have all collectively decided to focus our energy into a real estate investment trust that will give us all access to land and opportunities. A nation is not a nation without any land. And as a collective group, it is our goal to acquire as many opportunities to develop as possible. But one of the major things is that we understand that we can acquire land all day, but if there's no one there to cultivate it, then it becomes abandoned and has no use for the people. So our main focus is always in growing our membership and growing our people that we could work with to be able to cultivate our projects and to be able to even have ideas as we grow and look for opportunities to be able to purchase land for commercial use, industrial use. We would definitely always have room for ideas, for opportunities for our members to have a space where they can hopefully reach their full potential as well, which is our aim to uplift each other. So as we focus on this worldwide commercial and industrial, I love this last word, intercourse. I always say that economics is the science of energy connected econ. And our goal is to uplift each other so that we all can have energy to output towards all that we're doing. We also focusing on starting creating our own e-commerce store with the goals of giving each and every person the opportunity to have their own store, own link, so they can be able to create revenue from being a part of this society. Because like I said, the end goal is for everybody to have opportunity, so everybody can have energy, more energy to give, and that we can achieve our goal of our worldwide commercial industrial intercourse, even our universities and college, and all the other aims that Marcus Garvey set out for us to achieve. So I'm happy to have everybody here. If it's your first time on, I guess people who watch it on YouTube, people who are here at the meeting, if you've been here for many times before, we appreciate everybody for being here. And that's my report. If you might have any questions, feel free. We do have our business development calls. Second and fourth Sunday is second and fourth Thursday at 8 p.m. on Zoom. Second and fourth Thursday. We have been meeting on the first and third Thursdays as well, as we are developing, putting a lot of attention on our focus on our real estate venture that we are starting. But the set times for that meeting is second and fourth Thursday, and I invite anyone who has a mind for business to come on those 2 days. And we look forward to helping each other build. Face first, family.
I have a question. This is Ms. Parker Brown in Louisiana. Can you put that information in the chat?
Yes, will do.
I think you're muted, Brother John.
Thank you. Which information were you talking about?
I assume the Zoom link for the meeting on Thursday.
Correct.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good. No, if there aren't any other questions for First Vice President, we will move on. Lady President, are you available? Lady President, you're on mute. Okay, Lady President stepped away. Sister Diane, First Lady Vice President, you want to share with the people what we got going on Tuesdays?
So we have study sessions of various books on or by Marcus Garvey. The one we completed recently was Philosophies and Opinion by Marcus Garvey. And that was the closest thing to a book that was actually written by Garvey. And that was a really great course that we completed. Now we're on Race First, which is basically chronicling the birth and eventual death of Marcus Garvey. And that's written by Brother Tony Martin. That book really gets into a lot of details, a lot of the struggles. I mean, it really does an excellent job chronicling everything. And the good thing about this new course is that we're pretty much at the beginning of it. We're still, for example, last week we reviewed questions of the preface and chapter 1, and we're still going through some of that chapter 1, kind of very detailed, and map out all the dates, you know, all the way up to the death. And then of course, each preceding chapter or the following chapters are going to break every event down and get into more details. So we're doing that, and that's pretty exciting. And we recently attended the Malcolm X event, and I don't have everyone that I met at the event on the call today. However, kind of reached out late with that, but the good thing is that there were over 40 individuals that actually gave their mark as far as email and phone. And so following up on some of those members, spoke to some that I reached that are very excited about what we're doing. And the goal is to add them to our membership. And a lot of them have a lot to contribute. A lot of them are involved in other things already to uplift our race. So I'm looking forward to that as well. And pretty much that's it. Oh yes, I'm also excited about our business side. Our business meetings, as Brother Amacius mentioned, are on Thursdays, second and fourth Thursdays. So if you're business oriented, you know, it's the place to be, because Marcus Garvey was, I mean, to me, I think he was truly a messiah, because I mean, he talks about everything, but at the end of it all, he talks about economics. And he didn't just talk about it, he actually acted. And there are many myriads of examples of businesses that he started. And, you know, eventually, at the end of the day, it's all about emancipating the race from every aspect. And economics is the center, you know, the main foundation of all of that. So pretty much that's it. Race first, everyone. I want to say welcome to all the new members, and I want to I wanted to reach out earlier this week as situations didn't permit me, so I kind of try to get some folks on today, which is very last minute. So I want to apologize for that, but I will reach out again prior to our next mass meeting to you know, just solidify to the new people what our organization is all about. And I hope to get a few of them on board before our next mass meeting, or at least, if not that, to our mass meeting, until they see what the organization is about and develop a level of comfortability about, you know, hopping on board with us. Race first.
Race first, I'm over here adding, trying to edit names and stuff. Any questions for our first Lady Vice President and Education Coordinator, Sister Diane?
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Is there like a link that I have to have in order to join the study sessions on Tuesdays?
I will send that link out by Monday evening. The fact that we got you in the system now, we have you as a active member, so you will receive all future correspondence that we send out to all active members.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. And for Ross Marvin, I'm updating. Brother Najee is member 488. Sister Brittany Williams is member 489 as of yesterday.
Yes, President John. I think we're just starting 480 because we have in the database on my side, greetings, brothers and sisters, Ross Marvin.
Mhm.
On this side, we have Brother Eric is 477, Dr. Kuda is 478, Sister Cecily is 479, and Sister Alexandria is 480. So there must have been some members that you've received since I've had the last update to get us to 488.
When did Sister Alexandria join? I don't know if I caught her.
I had forwarded her membership application to you. She just joined May 15th. And she paid her dues and everything.
Okay, I'm gonna have to make an update. I think I do remember seeing that email. It was a picture of the application.
Yes, I'd forwarded to you to make sure you was aware of it.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to move some things around. Sister Brittany may move to 490. Brother Najee may move to 489.
But I don't see how you go from Sister Alexandra as member 480 all the way up to 480, 489. What happened to 481, 482, 483, 484, and all of those members?
I haven't had a chance to give my report.
Okay.
So hi, I want to speak for myself. So I plan on going to school for either education, social working, or business administration. I am only certified in personal training. So we add a fitness department, nutrition department, I would be the young lady that can help in that department. I'm not educated in nursing. I'm not educated in business or education. However, like I said, I do plan on getting a degree within the next 5 years so I can come back and be more of an asset. But like I said, if we add a fitness nutrition part to the organization, I would definitely love to sit down and be a mentor over that department because I am certified in personal training. I think us having certifications shows validations and shows education, backup proof of knowledge that we know what we're talking about because we're certified in it to be more of an asset in the organization. Right now I'm just here listening, soaking up. Right now I'm just a sponge, but I do look forward in the next 5 years to be more of an asset.
Thank you, Sister Alexandria. We hear the fire, we hear the passion. We do need help in those areas as well. And one thing that I would argue as well, prior to any official certification, I know that there's some things that we can do on a regular basis for our health, whether that's walking, push-ups, jumping jacks, lunges, some things that we can be doing around the house to maintain our health as well as dietary insight. So I would caution the delay for an official certification to get started. But if that is the priority and that becomes and we do understand the importance of dedicating time. So if that's a factor, then please do what you have to do to get where you're trying to be. So,
awesome. And I wanted to add on, like we could talk about it more in August. I have your emails. I don't know if I have yours, President. But I would like to even maybe create a Zoom section where probably like every 2 weeks or every week we have a health Zoom session where we're working out for at least an hour and 30 minutes. And then we're talking to everybody about their weight, eating goal. Some people are fasting. We're keeping up with their schedule, making sure that they haven't eaten or drinking, and just, being accountability, a partner for them. So in August when we meet, I'm going to talk about the same thing. I'm gonna bring it back up to see if we can get that wheels rolling to add a Zoom fitness section where we working out.
Yes, definitely. Yes, we need that. I've been on my officers about health, and we've been missing for someone to take the lead. So that'll be very important. I got to get my database updated.
Hey, I just want to say, I believe in you. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go right now. So if you with it and they're too, but to do it, let's go. We need health and fitness, and I think it's a great fit. Even it kind of goes with our Black Cross Nurses Department, what we have here. Now, that's what immediately came to mind, and we definitely health and fitness is important, and it's one of the things I think was important to Garvey as well. He talks about health and fitness and keeping your body up. So I'm happy to have you, happy for your enthusiasm, and we believe in you here. And if you are ready, we're ready to support you.
Thank you.
Lady President, are you available? Are you back? Sister Rod Ebony?
Race first. Greetings, race first.
Greetings. Yeah, we got a sister that is passionate about health and fitness. So I think that would be in line with Black Cross Nurses and partially Legion. Legion should be fit as well, but I thought you would be encouraged to hear that.
Absolutely. As most of you know, Black Cross Nursing means first and third Fridays each and every Friday of the month. I will be sending out correspondence to you, Brother John, and you can send them out amongst the membership. And I look forward to seeing y'all on first and third Fridays where we talk about health, community, and education. And we have fun, and we get our communities involved. We plan, we initiate, we innovate, we alleviate, we do all of those good things. So I definitely look forward to hearing, being in the energy once again, because I want you all to bring this fire to the Black Cross Nurses, because that's what we get active. That's what we bring the heat. That's what we bring all the noise. That's what we get busy. So first and third Fridays, y'all, of each and every month from 8 to 10. That's what we're gonna do our plan, and that's we're gonna bring up the calendar for the rest of the year. As you know, during the fall season, that's our most active time after Garvey, after month of August, because month of August, as you all know, is Garvey August. So after August, we take up a lot of time physically in the atmosphere, in the environment, and in our communities and whatsoever. So definitely bring all of that energy, bring all of the fire, bring all of your works, bring all of your initiative, bring all of your plans, bring all of the good deeds that you do, bring all of the good works and all of the people that do the good works with you, because this is a community thing, this is a unity thing. We do this thing together. And we, like Brother Macy said, we look forward to it. We appreciate your enthusiasm, and we just want you to forever hold that in your hearts, forever know what the mission is about, and forever know what you're bringing, with the benefits that you're going to bring to the people, and what the people are going to bring back to you. So all love, blessings. I'm so grateful. I'm so appreciative. Race first, family.
Race first. Thank you, Lady President.
Race first.
Any questions for our Lady President? But yes, as Lady President said, Black Cross Nurses every first and third Friday. And that is our health auxiliary for the UNIA. So anyone interested in supporting or contributing to health, as well as some charitable aspects, please connect with our Lady President, and please attend the first and third Friday Black Cross Nurse meetings. All right, thank you, Lady President. Keep moving. Brother Eric, are you there? You have anything you want to share for the office of Third Vice President?
Yes, I have did I send you that presentation? Did you ever look at that one?
We've been chatting. Only thing I got was the profile stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, do you want me to? I can
pull it up. Just pull it up.
Yeah, I have it. That's what I'm saying. Share my screen.
I got you. Let me give you permission.
Yeah.
our third vice president, Brother Eric. Stop sharing. Also does quite a few things in quite a few realms. I'm not going to limit his talent. So third vice president. My camera was way up there.
Can we see?
Yes.
All right. All right. Third vice president. If we're doing reports, and I'm gonna try and limit it to just to what it's supposed to be. So, but we just got back from Malcolm X Day a couple days ago. I guess to preface it shortly, yeah, okay, that's the first one. So, just to do it shortly, it's similar to the Garvey Day that I got here in, so it's kind of difficult to highlight how they're different besides the fact that they're about different people. So if that makes sense. So there's only 4 things on my list here. So yeah, the regular report, we got contacts for people. I personally try to keep an eye out for things like later. Yeah, that we were supposed to be doing like membership specifically, but there was also vendors there. So there was I have a list of them. I was going to send those to president. I have the list of regular contacts, so like just people there. But more than contact information, yes, that's a priority, but something I noticed while I was talking to people and also just overhearing in general and like seeing what they said about just when they come to the table, most people say the same thing, which is they didn't know any of this was still like active or happening. You know what I mean? Not necessarily in general, because there's things like, there's other things going on. But as far as like Marcus Garvey in general, most people don't even, they don't even know that like it was so long ago and it kind of got swept under the rug. But I just think it's interesting that most people don't think that it's something that would this specific section of it, if that makes sense. So that's just an observation more. That would be about the structure. So by structure I meant like the layout of it in general, but that can be in the later slide about our actual day. So one I get a level deeper about it is again in the context of Garvey Day, because that's kind of where we have most of the I don't want to say movement as if anything else isn't important, but that's where everything kind of not culminates either. Like it's not that it all comes together right there, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the day that, it's the day that we can kind of step into what it's supposed to be more, I guess, if that makes sense. But if as far as contributions go, again, this was in my last slide, the last report I did. So I leave this the same. My benefit is more like before I came in any of this, it was technology and like research and development and like project building and just things like that. So my original one was about memberships, and like because that's kind of my in that tree. I don't know if you guys were looking, but in the original one, there's like a thing that we are. So it says third vice president, but it also says membership at the bottom.
Yep.
So I think of the membership cards, but that was the last presentation. So this one is more about the layout. I think the word I used before was structure. So something we need to talk about is like what are we looking for from the day, if that makes sense. So I'll give it a little context. Something at this one is, I have it drawn on paper here, but there was like a stage, right? So there's different sections. So when you're putting together events and things like that, everything has to be zoned. So kind of like a city, there's industrial zones, there's residential zones, there's commercial zones, you know what I'm saying? There's there's routes and all that. That is the same thing for events like this. So there were food sections, there's I guess commercial sections. I forget, I don't know what that word would be, but like, people selling jewelry and clothes and things like that with the food. But there was also there's performers, and there's also like a recreational section. So it was next to like a park and all of that. So I'm thinking of those, and along with the vendors list, do we have to, or like what type of structure are we looking for basically? I'm not trying to go all the way through it because it it's a developing thing, but that's kind of a focus. Does it look similar to that? Is it like everyone was mostly around how do I explain this a little bit? Let me think for one second. So like, okay, this is what I mean, right? Everybody was at the stage, right? So I have it labeled B. B was the stage. Everybody was kind of pooled over there. Vibes were cool. It was great. But then I guess the gravity of it was pulling towards like the food. Not that that's a problem or anything, but like I think it should be like a little more balanced, if that makes sense, for a different day. They were focused more on the event, I feel, instead of maybe one central, like I get it was just vibes, but I don't know. That's what this slide is all about. I just want to bring it up because I think that's something that's important. Promotion, the aim, I already said that. And what I was getting into just now is how do we not be restrictive with that? But I guess I can get into that more another time when it's more relevant. But I think this is really important because of somebody we met while we were there. But did you see that, John? Did you catch the popcorn dude while you were there at all, or no? Were you mostly at the stand?
Yeah, I was at the stand, bro.
Okay, yeah, never mind. Yeah.
You over here sightseeing.
Sightseeing. Nah, we were.
You was working?
All right.
No, he's working.
All right, yeah. But but that was this. This is in the context of Garvey Day, just thinking forward to that, using what we learned at the day we were just at once. Since everyone was there, good thing to take notes on.
Absolutely.
And also keep track of like your own takeaways, of course, whenever anything you want to see. I think vendors and aims, I think, would be the most important if I were to choose two. So I guess moving away from that, where we are now, that was something you guys were talking about earlier. It's just stuff we kind of stay close to, or I guess that I stay close to, are these are the things I feel that we have immediately, if that makes sense. So as far as what presently, so like people not knowing, like, okay, people not knowing that something like this has been happening still, that it still has any type of momentum or anything like that. If we were to answer that question with what are we doing in like 2024, like today, I feel like these would kind of be our answers. We have a pretty active whirlwind. Everybody else has everybody has printed ones. There were some newspapers at the event. When you go to places, their general newsletter, ours is active as well, in general. The works and purposes of Division 421, we stay up on this, like something right now that is actually, I'm actually going to go to that here. The bylaws. We went over our bylaws recently, and we also just came back from HEC. So a conclusion we came to with that is,
what is HEC for the new members?
High Executive Council. So that was a meeting we all had to just address some things that are going on across the board, just to be on the same page, just to voting. It was HEC, so there's two, HEC 1 and then HEC 2. That one was in, I think, April, and then the next one is in August, actually the same week as Garvey Day. So not saying there's actually, never mind, but it's the same week as Garvey Day is the point. But yeah, a conclusion we came to from that is bylaws. If I were to open the other one, since there are some new people here. This is one of the reports from after that. So something that was there was given, and this isn't like given, something that was placed literally in our hands, given to everyone, directed to the room, everybody. Local division programs, including training programs, can be shared with other divisions of the UNIA-ACL through the Office of the Secretary General. This was something that is proposed, right? So the point of HEC is to bring these types of things to the table, get them, heard, and then get it sorted out. However, what was found is that just follow the Constitution, basically. I'm trying to keep it short because this isn't even the right thing I'm supposed to be in, but follow the bylaws. If we're to bring everything to what are we doing today, following the bylaws, following the things that were given to us, before, keeping things that the 5-year plan also. So after that, what we brought back to us, so HEC is everyone together, everybody going back to where they came from and where they are. We chose to bring back the 5-year plan. So because it doesn't violate any constitutional anything, we are going to just, and we're focusing on the plan a little bit. We're just prepping this type of thing and just works in general. If I were to try and sum it up without, more. That's it. That's all I really have for this one.
Any questions for Third Vice President, Brother Eric? And I think somebody had made a error. They said Philosophers and Opinions, but the actual book was Message to the People. I think that was maybe President.
It's broken up into a bunch of sections. So the 5-year plan would be like one of the last couple chapters.
Yeah.
Not saying you should skip around, but that's just after you've read it once or twice, just I go through and focus and apply.
I agree.
Yeah, questions.
Any questions for Brother Eric?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, I really appreciated hearing, all the work that other, officers have been engaged in. And I think this presentation was one of the ones that I was most interested in hearing. As someone I'm not an official member yet, but, I really appreciated your kind of assessment of how events this weekend, and it sounded like you were also maybe referencing the Malcolm X event that occurred. I appreciated your comments on that because I went to that event on Saturday, and I didn't enjoy it per se.
Wait, which day was Saturday? There were 2 days. So what was the first
day, Saturday. You came on Sunday.
Oh, okay. All right.
And it was this day was raining a little bit, but I just think the event wasn't, like you were saying, maybe tailored for certain types of engagement or conversation. I thought, the speakers were, not necessarily geared towards a younger crowd, if you will, but, so I appreciated your assessment of just takeaways from that event and thinking about future events and Garvey Day in particular. And I also, like your discussion on, kind of recentering on a 5-year plan and, other aspects of the organization. I think if I was to, move forward with membership, I would be really interested in, learning more about the organization's, plans to sort of manifest the 10 or 11 aims. And, how it's also, engaging in outreach and event planning and things of that nature, to contribute to, that sort of strategic plan. There's a lot of things I think on my resume that would contribute to, some of the aims in that way. And, I also have, interest in the land trust group and even the reading group. There are a lot of things that you all are doing that I'm very interested in. But I think the strategy, and when you were talking about the bylaws, I was also thinking about like the values that, inform, the approach to the strategy. I think those are like the most essential things. So If those are the things that you all are sort of talking about in event planning and in strategizing, I'd be super interested in following up whenever y'all have meetings. I don't know when y'all meet. But yeah, that was more of a comment. I guess, yeah, when do y'all meet? That's my question.
Great question, and some of the officers are addressing that question. Generally, we have mass meetings second and fourth Sunday. So today is our fourth Sunday mass meeting. This is our sixth. Wait, no, it's our 10th. What month are we in? January, March, April, May. Yeah, it's our 10th. I think we missed one. So ninth mass meeting for the year of 2024. This is our most open, most general meeting that we have on a regular basis. In addition to that, as we've kind of touched on, we try to have some programs throughout the week, meetings throughout the week. So Tuesdays, our First Lady Vice President has taken the lead of our education office, and we're reading the course Race First. So that's every Tuesday evening, 8 to 9:30 p.m. That is a recurring program. Our first vice president mentioned the business meetings and the real estate ventures, which typically take place, I believe, first and third Thursday. We've been having those meetings a little bit more regularly recently, just to try to make sure we have all of our answers, all questions answered, and all I's dotted, T's crossed before we hit full stride. Lady President mentioned first and third Friday Black Cross Nurses meeting. So that's 3 programs right there. I didn't mention, and please forgive me. Yeah, no, as a matter of fact, Brother Langston, you attended orientation every Saturday. So that's another program, another opportunity that we have to meet. So we have some standing meetings, standing programs that we continue regularly throughout the year on Zoom. And then sometimes we will put some funds together to have an in-person meeting. So African Liberation Day was an in-person meeting. Garvey Day will be a event, and we plan to have some more in-person meetings at the end of the year after Garvey Day. So if that answers your question.
Thank you for that. That's very helpful. I guess another part of the question, I guess I was wondering if that last summary was a part of a particular subcommittee, if you will, like if there are recurring strategy meetings. I guess if that's what I was thinking about based on that last summary. So
yeah, that would be more so on the executive level. Our
okay.
executive body, we meet standing, we have a first Saturday executive body meeting. Sometimes we'll have another second meeting throughout the month, but that would be the planning first Saturday of the month. The executive body, the elected officers, or those that aspire to be in a position, of leadership and direction. We come together and we kind of plan out the vision for the month or the upcoming month. So that's how we got to where we are now. Through our May executive meeting, we had a big focus on Malcolm X Day and African Liberation Day, and being visible, having brochures, having applications, having merchandise, and being present at these meetings so that we can get to exactly where we are today, where we can have a meeting and we can, hopefully begin to share our programs with new members and encourage them to bring their insight into our programs and direction for our division.
Thank you. That makes sense as well. I appreciate that. I guess the last related question, is there a committee or group related to event planning or community outreach?
Event planning we need to develop that. I just talked with Attorney Counsel General about that. So wait, let me say, you said event planning and what was the other one? Outreach. We did have a outreach coordinator. He has been absent for a few weeks now. So that office has kind of slowed down.
Yeah.
Our second vice president, Brother Malik, is kind of picking up on that absence. You were at African Liberation Day next week. There was an announcement about from Brother Gerald of the Nation of Islam that would, allow some outreach activities. So we're tapping in there to see, how we can mutually benefit. But we would also need to, we would also want to develop our own internal regular programs, and we haven't discussed that.
Okay.
So that's an opportunity.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And as I move forward with membership, I find, another time to follow up on some of these things, and other ways to contribute, my different skills, and resources. But yeah, I appreciate your answers.
Thank you, thank you. And that brings me back to my answer to your first question. Event planning. Brother, got to give credit to Brother Malik as well as Attorney Emotep. They were our two most heavily involved in the event planning for Malcolm X Day. Not only putting up some upfront support, but also showing up Saturday morning 6 a.m. To secure our location, which I realize makes a huge difference as to the effect or the success that we would have at events. We've done events in the past where we've shown up later and had poor positioning, and I've honestly felt like it's no point in participating. But Attorney Emotep, Brother Malik, y'all convinced me of the benefit of preparation. So definitely want to give them credit. Other officers, Lady President was there in attendance. Brother Eric was there as well. We just mentioned his report. And Sister Diane, First Lady Vice President, did a great job of canvassing and not waiting for people to come to the booth, but actually going to them. So great job from our officers. I can't thank y'all enough. That is the type of continued effort that we're going to need to be successful. But as Garvey said, what man can do, what man has done, man can do. So we've proven that we can do it. Now we just have to be consistent. But just to summarize, I spoke with Attorney Emotep and Brother Malik to ask them to participate and support our future event planning, but that hasn't been official.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Hi. I don't know if we need the business officers on here. So if you are in the business officer, please tune into this question. Again, my name is Alexandra. I live in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I found the card and my down deposit is $2,000. And I plan on paying it back, but like, do y'all do like loans to members to help them get back on their feet? A car would help me be able to transport to Atlanta and Winston-Salem. I could do DoorDash. I can lift the people that's in the organization, pick them up places, and I could also get to work so I can be able to make money. But that's my question is I need a $2,000 loan that I plan on paying back, and hopefully it does not have no interest rates.
Brother Mason, you want to take lead?
Sure. So we aren't there yet, but that is within our goals. We as an organization internationally have a focus on starting our own credit union. So that is a focus that's going to take some time, though. Honestly, there's a lot of regulations that we have to get by. So we aren't there yet, though. But that is the goal of where we do want to be able to do for our people through that credit union, hopefully. But we're not there this time.
Okay, thank you so much for responding.
You're welcome.
Thank you, First Vice President. Any questions for any of our officers? Brother Eric, I'm going to stop your screen share.
I actually do have a question. Sorry, this is Sister Brittany. So once we're done with orientation, does that officially make us members?
This is Sister Brittany.
Yes.
No, you become a member when you pay dues. In the Universal Negro Improvement Association, there's only two types of members. Those that are ordinary members based upon our race. So the day you were born, you know, we were all members of the Universal Negro Improvement Association. When we activate our membership and pay dues, that is the only distinction in membership per our Constitution is those that pay dues and those that do not pay dues. So you become a full-fledged member upon activation. Now, locally, what I would say, you know, as a local body, we do try to promote some level of standard, some form of a rites of passage when it comes to our officer group. So if you would like to be an officer, if you plan to be elected for a position of an officer, I would, I would personally expect some duration of attendance and experience. You know, we don't want people just coming off the street and, you know, saying they want to be, you know, second, you know, lady vice president. There's a process. You can become a vice president in training, but to hold that office and to have the authority and responsibility that comes with it, we would want to see some level of time commitment prior.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. And speaking of that, in addition to my report, some future things that we have to be aware of, election is coming up. And I'm not talking about United States election, I'm talking about Division 421 election. Our official election for these offices that you see, we do this once a year. We're coming up on our completion of a year. And as of, let me see, 1, 2, 3, yeah. So June 23rd will be the fourth Sunday. That'll be a day we officially re-elect all officers. June 9th mass meeting will probably, which is next mass meeting, we'll probably just touch on, allow an opportunity to meet the candidates, so to speak, those that plan to run for office. If there's any questions, it'll be an opportunity, an open forum for candidates that are running for office. So June 23rd election. And we do election every year, as I said. All right. Attorney Imhotep, are you there? Would you like to give report? Or do you have anything you could share?
Thank you. I'm glad to see so many new members here. I'd like to welcome everyone, and the questions and the about joining and what else you can do here for the UNIA-ACL is great and needed, and welcome aboard. And if you have any family members, friends, tell them about us. I want to thank Brother Malik and you, President John, and the help of Brother Ross Marvin. It was rewarding to participate in the Malcolm X membership fundraising drive. And like you, President John, I also learned a lot of people said they didn't know that there was a UNIA-ACL. And so we helped ourselves and the community by participating there. So we have a lot of work to do, looking forward to doing it going forward here. I'd like to also encourage everyone to new members get involved, and particularly this coming Tuesday at the study session led by Sister Diane Marshall, First Assistant Vice President. This book, the study of the book Race First, if you haven't read that before, this is very good. A good session, a good class. And we have a lot of work to do. And so let's do it. We can do it. Thank you, President John. Race First.
Race First. Thank you, Attorney Motep. Any questions for Attorney Motep for Counsel General?
I had another sort of general follow-up question based on the last. So once a member begins paying dues and it's just a general member, what is the process for, I guess, contributing or suggesting ideas or programs or collaborations and things of, things of that nature? Not necessarily going for an officer position, but just suggesting project ideas.
Great question. The best way would be through this forum mass meeting. We're getting ready to open up for member share in just a moment, and that'll be an opportunity to make make a proposal, suggestion, anything that you think we should be aware of. Also, an opportunity to follow up on any suggestions or proposals. You can also send an email if it's in between a mass meeting. You got an idea and you don't want to wait till the next mass meeting. You can shoot me an email, shoot us an email. But one thing, the reason why I say this is the best forum, we try to be a democratic body, and we try to make sure that the proposals that we proceed on are heard by the officers and by the body. So when you're here on mass meeting, when our officers are here on mass meeting, it allows us to fully address those concerns, and we can make progress on the proposal immediately, as opposed to having to wait for that gathering.
Yes. All righty. Thank you very much.
Not a problem. Brother Macias, you got hand up?
Yes, sir. President John, we do also have the opportunity for members to schedule some of the days that we have off to be able to present proposals as well.
Yes.
And one thing that I would say to kind of, I guess, preface the energy of before President John was our president, or President Ross, who was on the call, was our president before. And one thing I've always loved about President Ross is that he believes in you. If you say you can do it, he gives you the opportunity to step up and do it. I believe you got an idea, you're supposed to do it. And I learned that from a long time ago. But links it to you specifically, I heard you say earlier that you wanted to hear about how some of our outreach events kind of execute those 11 aims and objectives. And immediately I thought, I'm looking forward to hearing from you, because I feel like you have thought about it when you asked that question. And that reason you asked about it, because you thought about it. So honestly, I believe in you. I feel your passion. I believe that you do have something to contribute. I'm looking forward to you contributing it. If it's up to me, I'm looking forward to hearing whatever you have in your heart to present. And I believe that the Cubs of Garvey are here. Each and every one of us has something, a part of Garvey inside of us that I'm excited to hear about in every person on this call. We all have something, and I encourage everybody to know that you are especially unique, and Garvey has called you, and you are special. I don't have the sauce you have, and I'm looking forward to hearing the sauce that each and everybody on this call has. You have something to contribute, and I'm glad you're here, each and every person.
Absolutely.
That's very powerful. I appreciate that. That gets me really fired up. Thank you very much. I'm excited to contribute.
Y'all firing me up, man. I'm glad to see y'all.
Yeah, that's a big question. That's a big answer to the question that we heard these past couple weekends. What is it that the UNIA has to offer? But y'all have to understand, we're looking at each of the individuals and asking that same thing. We can't wait to find out what it is that each of you sees that we are missing and bring that contribution. But we've talked about that. Everyone that's talked with me over these past couple of weeks has heard that sentiment. So thank you, Brother Macy's, for echoing that. Brother Art, I wanted to kind of bring you in for the minutes. If you got the minutes of previous meeting, were you able to get those?
Yeah, I got them. Raise first, family.
Raise first,
welcome, Newman. The last meeting on the 12th, we went over the offices of the VPs.
Mm-hmm.
And the responsibilities and the duties were reviewed and read. We also went over the offices of the lady VPs. And those were reviewed and read, and also on the officer chair, President Ross brought up a question about PayPal and the PayPal link. And I don't know if that was resolved or not. I haven't talked to him about that. We also had a guest, Brother James J.T. Brown. He was running for office at the Fulton County Sheriff's Office.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave us his outlook on running that office.
Yep.
And Brother Eric shared on J.T. Brown's presentation and suggested that we do research on him. And I thought that was very astute. And that's all I got.
We didn't say anything about Malcolm X Day or African Liberation Day last meeting. You didn't get no notes on that?
No, we didn't.
What? I guess, okay, because I think we pushed that meeting off.
Right.
We had a meeting, I think Thursday or Friday, right before Malcolm X Day. Okay. All right. Thank you for that report. Any questions on meeting minutes from last meeting? Anything else you want to add, Brother Art? Anything we need to be aware of?
No, just that the newsletter, the Whirlwind, is coming. So hang on a minute.
Got you, my brother. Thank you.
All right. Race first.
Race first. President Ross, you there? I think you one of the last ones, and then I'll kind of give a couple comments. I know you got some questions.
Yes, greetings, family. This is Ross Marvin, your treasurer for Division 421. I had a question first before I give my treasurer report. How many new members did we receive at Malcolm X Day and African Liberation Day? That was one question that I had. Also, Brother Eric, when you was talking about the High Executive Council meeting and you said there's another one in August. First of all, the one in April was in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Division 421 from Atlanta had a delegation go there, and we thank the delegation, Brother Eric, Attorney, Consul General, Attorney Himotep, Sister Diane, First Lady Vice President, President John, Lady President Ra Ebony. Our delegation was 5 people who attended HEC. I'm asking. So thank all of those who went and represent our division. But the HEC in August is not called the HEC, it's the convention. And everybody got to understand that the High Executive Council meeting and the convention is a 104-year tradition of our people. Since 1920, the UNIA has been holding the convention. And this year, as our president John mentioned, it's an election convention. So we don't only have election locally in our division in June, but in August, there is parent body elections for the president generals. So everybody should know that Atlanta Division 421, our division, is not the only division in the UNIA for those who are new members, but there are divisions in DC, New York, Chicago, Detroit, Los Angeles. There's many divisions. And when you attend the High Executive Council meeting or the convention, you get to meet brothers and sisters from other UNIA divisions from around the country and around the world. So last year in 2023, Division 421 hosted the High Executive Council meeting. This year it was in Philadelphia. Also, President John, when you was mentioning the regular meetings that Division 421 have, you forgot to mention the Whirlwind newsletter meeting that's every Sunday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon using this same Zoom. So I want to make sure that the brothers and sisters and the members on the call, those who might be interested in working with the division's local publication, it's been 13 years now we've been putting out our weekly newsletter with the Collective Black People Movement. We meet Sunday mornings, 10 a.m. to noon. Just leave a message in the chat if you're interested in being part of the Whirlwind newsletter staff. Also, for the new members and those who might have proposals for Division 421, you should ask yourself, when you come to an organization, you should spend a little time learning about the organization before you bring something to the organization. In other words, ask yourself, do you know the pledge to the red, black, and green? Do you know the structure of our local? Do you know the structure of the whole international UNIA? And to learn the structure, if you want to know what Division 421 is about and to learn our structure, you have to look at our bylaws. And as a new member, active member, you will receive a copy of our bylaws. So very important. We all have a lot of ideas, but ask ourselves, do we know the history of the UNIA? Do we know how the government was established? Do we know what our ancestors did to establish the government? So these things are very important. And if you want to take responsibility in our local chapter, look at the bylaws, look at the structure, and see which office do you fit in. And we do have a community outreach office, and as President John say, our coordinator for the community outreach, Brother Cornelius, haven't been here for the last couple of meetings, but he's been very active in the community for years, representing us and also part of the farming department. So those are the comments that I had to make in reference to what I've been listening to. Now I'm going to give my report, treasury report, and we got to badge it up for our president, President John, because he's been taking care of our division financial report. What we should understand is that the dues, the $3 a month dues, is very, very vital. As President John says, that's the difference between an active member and a regular member. A regular member, all Africans at home and abroad are regular members of the UNIA. The active members pay $3 dues a month. Back in the days of the 1920s in Marcus Garvey, the dues was 25 cents a month. And look what our ancestors was able to do with 25 cents a month. They were able to set up shipping industries, laundry, dry cleaners, laundromats, restaurants, even we had a university, UNIA University in Maryland. So the dues are very, very vital, y'all, because our goal as Division 421 is to get to 500 active members. As President John said, we have member 488 and 489 who've joined us. But out of the 488 and 489 members that have joined the local chapter, the parent body only counts who's active. That means how much people out of the 489 members had paid their dues for the month of March and April. And we have to badge up our president again because he completed our financial report and he had sent it to me. So this is what we have for March 2024. We only had one new member, which paid a joining fee of $10. And 30% of that goes to the parent body, which is $3. We had a total of $102 worth of dues collected. And if you divide that by 3, it turns out that we have 34 active members. 34 out of 489, we got to do better than that. Because our goal, President John and myself, when I was a previous president, our goal was to have 500 active members, y'all. 500 active members, that means we'll get in a budget, a yearly budget of $24,000. If you take $3 and times 500 people. So those members who are on the call who did not pay their dues, please pay your dues, because our goal is to have 500 active members, 500 brothers and sisters paying dues. We're only 11 members away from reaching that 500 point, but not all of the 489 members are paying the dues. So therefore, in the March financial report, out of the $102 of dues that Division 421 collected, 30% of that goes to the parent body, which is $30.60. So with 30% of the joining fee, the $3, add those two together, we're sending for the March report $33.60 to our parent body. Okay, realize that in April, how we look on our financial report, we didn't have no new members join in April. But in monthly dues, we collected $105 worth of monthly dues, which turns out to be 35 active members. And 30% of that is $31.50. So that's what we're sending to the parent body, $31.50. So the total that we're sending to the parent body for the month of March and April 2024 turns out to be about $64.90. And our president elected to send $70 through our Cashapp because $5.10 was the processing fee and contribution to our parent body. So our financial report is up to date, y'all. It's up to date, meaning that May 21st is the 21st of each month is when the financial report of the local division is due to the parent body. And our president has sent that already to our parent body. Therefore, that's why I say we got to badge it up for our president, because it's not his responsibility to do the financial report. It's the financial secretary's responsibility. So if somebody there who have a little business knowledge and know about accounting and thing and would like to step up to be our financial secretary, because we don't have one currently, therefore it will free our president up to do other important things in our division. So that's our financial report for March 2024 and April 2024. But May, you know, say that's African Liberation Month, the month of May. Malcolm X also celebrated during May. So we were able to get at least 5 to 10 new members, and our president will be updating me with those new members so I can make sure they're in the database for our division. But I just want to welcome all new members to our division, and remember that the UNIA-ACL is for all Africans at home and abroad. And brothers and sisters, we got a great, great, great organization, a great government that our ancestors created for us, and it's alive and well and kicking throughout the world. Race first, Ross Marvin, your treasurer.
Race first. Thank you, President Ross Marvin. For the new members, as you hear me say, President Ross Marvin was the first president of Division 421, duly elected August 2009. He served as our president until officially June 2021, when he stepped down and allowed me or promoted for me to lead. So we're in a very strong organization. We have some very strong elders and leaders, very insightful. And if we have any questions in regards to the history of the UNIA and that legacy and the history of Division 421 specifically, President Ross Marvin will be a great asset. Were there any questions? Got two hands up. Sister Belinda, I believe you were first. Sister Belinda, are you there?
Hey, I'm sorry, I was muted. I have a question for Brother Marvin. How do we know, I thought I had paid my dues for the year. So how do we know that we're, I guess, delinquent on our membership dues?
That's a good question. Ross Marvin, you there? You on mute if he's talking.
Okay, I was talking and I was on mute. I was saying, good question, Sister Belinda.
Thank you.
I'd searched the payment records and I was looking for Sister Belinda's payment to the UNIA. And Sister Belinda, I found your payment to the CBPM, the Collective Black People Movement, our sister organization, but I couldn't find your payment, dues payment for the UNIA. So I'm asking President John if you can do a look of research when you get a look of time, so that we can be able to answer Sister Belinda's question.
Sister Belinda, how do you make your payments? Is it through PayPal, Cashapp?
PayPal. I do it through PayPal, and I thought I had it set it up as a reoccurring payment. So can we check that out? I can probably check on my end too as well. That's the way I thought I had it set up, that it would just be automatically reoccurring every month.
Okay.
Because it's $3 a month. That's what he said, and it's through PayPal.
Yes, we do have that set up. Give me a moment to look into that. Brother,
Okay. All right. Take your time. You can contact me anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brother Langston, you have a question? Let me stop sharing.
Yeah, I guess I sort of had a semi-related question about if the financial team has opportunities for folks to volunteer or support in terms of, I guess, internal data management, if you will, and like follow-up and stuff like that. I'm thinking about, trying to take into heart ways to contribute to the organization. I think, of course, it's important to learn the history and the structure of the UNIA, and the red, black, and green, anyway, I think, I'll definitely take a look at the bylaws. But yeah, I was wondering if there's opportunities for folks to help and support in things like that, whether it's following up with people for dues, whether it's, organizing an internal database of who we have and who hasn't paid dues. I don't know what committee that would fall under, if that's in the financial committee, but in terms of like internal organization and follow up and like workflow stuff, does that fall under the financial sort of committee, or is that like a separate thing, or is there a space for that sort of organization? Yeah, in my mind, I'm sort of thinking of it as it's an organization. So I'm wondering what dedicated entity is there to outside of the financial realm, or maybe it's under the financial wing that helps with some of those workflow follow-up outreach sort of things. And I guess you all said there is an outreach committee and the person has not has been out for the moment. So I guess that's the answer to the question, but I guess that's
that's a multifaceted question.
yeah, I'm sorry. I was
in regards to the community outreach, President Ross, you mentioned Brother Cornelius. Brother Kim Wardo had been holding the position of community outreach. Cornelius was dedicated specifically to agriculture. Following up, primarily that would be under two offices that come to my mind. Membership office would reach out on a regular basis, and the financial office. Financial office would be the ones to send emails or text to let members know, hey, your dues aren't active. Please, your last payment or your payment was received on this time. Please use the following links to update. So that would be my two answers. In addition to that, as President Ross was saying, and as our experience has shown, those are some of our most sensitive offices, membership and financial offices. So there's been individuals that have wanted to support, but those offices are pretty much relegated to like presidents.
That makes sense.
It's individuals that have been here for over a year, I would say, at this point before we share that type of information.
That makes sense.
If I may add, President John?
Yes, President Ross, go ahead.
Brother Langston, you still can join the membership staff because we definitely need help. So you can be, as President John said earlier, if you were vice president, you don't have to be a vice president, but they have training, officers in training.
Yes.
So you could be added to the staff as a staff member in the membership department as training, because we definitely need exactly what you said.
Yes.
In reference to following up with the members and making sure they're paying the dues. We haven't had somebody who was able to do that. And if you're able to do that, that will bring our division to a higher level. So I look forward in building with you. Our third vice president, Brother Eric, he's also in training, and part of his responsibility is the membership office. So look forward in working with all who are interested in working with the membership office, so that way our membership office can complete its job and we can have more active members in our division.
That sounds like a plan. Thank you all very much for your answers. And yes, I look forward to following up.
All right, it is 7:40. I do need to proceed. All officers, Sister Cicely, anything that you want to say? You tried to sneak through. Thought I forgot about you.
Yes. Actually, I do have a great report today. I got a sewing machine. So I can start sewing flags and we can sell them and get money.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay. That's great news. Yes, good, very great to know. And also, thank you, Sister Cicely's been helping with our Monday, I don't even know what we're calling it, spiritual study group. So on Mondays, that's something that I didn't mention, but that's another program that we have is spiritual development. So Mr. Garvey was a proud Christian. He, professed that several times in his text. We don't ask you to be a Christian, but he does recommend for us to read a chapter of the Bible every day in his officer's training. Again, this is not about indoctrinate. Well, I mean, that's hard to say that after forcing, telling people they should read the Bible, but it's not a requirement. It's not a requirement that you be Christian or believe, but he does recommend for us to read the Bible so that we can know the history of man, specifically in the history of the world. So we do that on Monday evenings, and Sister Cicely has been helping us with that. And as she said, she's also, well, she didn't mention it, but as coordinator for arts and culture, we've been looking at sewing machines, trying to get some sewing machines going, and have that as an additional program and opportunity for our people. If you would like to sew for yourself or sew as part of a business, but we definitely, that's a critical component to nationhood, is being able to create your own, bring together your own fabrics. Any questions, comments for our arts and culture coordinator?
Lady President.
Go ahead, Lady President.
Lady President, Sister Ivan. Thank you so much, Sister Cecily. That is like so greatly needed. I know last season that was something that we were focusing on, bringing funds to. That was definitely in our works, in our planning, for Constitution. Like I said, a lot of things that are mentioned have already been in rotation before, and they're going to be back in rotation again. Like I said, I truly encourage everybody to come to the Black Cross Nursing Meet's first and third Fridays. But Sister Cecily, we have a international flag maker, and there is a special fabric that they use for the flags, and I can connect you to that particular sister. I have to find her information again. I did get her info at our HEC sitting this year in Philadelphia. But I will through our channels and find that particular sister who is in charge of that department, so that you all can connect and she can share her wisdom with you and also the information of how they go about it nationally, internationally, so it can be a authentic flag. Because in the government they have this, they have this thing about things being organic and Black made, authentically Black made. They don't like cheap material or material from foreign countries and stuff like that. They're very particular. So I will pass that information to you, and I just wanted to mention that. So race first. Did I already do my report earlier? That was my report.
You did.
If so,
you did. You spoke on Black Cross Nurses.
All right, race first.
Race first.
Every first and third Friday, y'all, 8 to 10. See y'all there.
We will send out the invitations as soon as we receive them. Any other officers? It's 7:45. We short on time for our members. Any officers that did not get a chance to share? I will briefly try to do this. I just want to share some things over the past couple weekends from my report. See how I could do this. Yeah, I guess I just have to share the whole thing. Don't got a lot of pictures from African Liberation Day, but we had African Liberation Day yesterday at Omanala Griot. So members of Division 421 should be familiar with the Omanala Griot, our Liberty Hall. We continue to support the facility as well as events that took place. But we were definitely invited, as we are co-hosts of African Liberation Day. We are official members of the Atlanta Pan-African Coalition, and this was our gathering of African Liberation Day here in Atlanta. I only got those two pictures. I didn't get a lot of pictures. This is my work stuff. Don't worry about that. Work stuff. And this is at Malcolm X Day last weekend. I don't know if anybody knows who this brother is. This brother Selah Shalom. He's not super huge, but this is our officers at our tent. So myself, Attorney Imhotep, Second Vice President, Brother Malik, and First Lady Vice President, Sister Diane, setting up for Garvey Day. That's Sister Diane sharing some of the members. Brother J.K. Groove Master and That's our tent, Malcolm X Day. Got some videos on Facebook, and Brother Ross, I don't know this little brother's name, but I know him from the UK. He's been in the movement for quite some time as well, but just wanted to share a couple pictures with everybody and close my report with one significant update that we've been talking about. Sister Tania has been helping us behind the scenes. And everybody should get also, side note, new members, make sure you refer to the HEC organizational chart. President General Michael R. Duncan, this is the gentleman that is the 10th successor, 11th President General of the Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey. So he sits in the seat of Mr. Garvey. We have Secretary General, first, second, third assistant, fourth assistant President Generals, Chaplain General Office, Counsel General Attorney Imhotep, who is here out of Atlanta, Auditor General Office, High Commissioner General Brother Marua Farrell out of Chicago, Surgeon General Office, Minister of Industries and Labor, Brother Clyde of Chicago, Minister of Information, Everett Winchester out of Baltimore, Minister of Education, who some of us were able to meet yesterday, Brother Oster Bryan out of New York. We don't have Minister of Arts and Culture. Minister of Legion is under Fourth Assistant President General. But where I'm trying to go here. So this is not finalized. So I'm not able to share it yet, but we are working on the flyer for Garvey Day in August. We can talk about Juneteenth next mass meeting, but wanted to make sure that we began the planning for Garvey Day. I need to speak with Brother Mukasa and confirm him. I did speak with him at Malcolm X Day, but I haven't shown him the flyer and got his approval. And we'll also have Vinjas and the Egbe Aguma drummers. So some of the same entertainment that we had last year. Any questions, comments on President's report?
Hi, I have some services that I would love to put out that you can use me for is flyer making. So I've been making flyers since 2020 for personal businesses to horseback riding businesses, and I would love to be a flyer maker. I can post it on Instagram. I can make an Instagram page that's solely just for events, because sometimes people, they don't write down the dates that we meet on Zoom or the events. And sometimes they screenshot the flyers and then go back to their photos and they find it and then they arrive. So I would definitely love to do that. And if you're willing to, I can do that as soon as possible. I can email you and you can give me the dates that you have so far this year and I can make flyers. I have a whole bunch of time on my hands, so I'll get it back to you as soon as possible.
First, thank you, Sister Alexandria. I gotta record your information. Any other questions, comments? Okay, stop sharing. And with that, that closes out officer reports, and we will go straight into member share. Sister Belinda, I see you got a hand up. Is that an old hand, new hand?
Sorry, that's an old hand. Okay,
old hand. All right, we're getting into member share. Thank you everyone for your patience. Oh, Ross, you had a couple questions. I forgot some of them, but I remember one of them was members. We got 7 new members at Malcolm X Day, 2 new members at African Liberation Day, for a total of 9 for these past 2 weeks. So that's how we went from 480 to 489.
Thank you, President John.
You had some other questions too, but
I had mentioned, there wasn't really a question. That was only really one question, but the other was comments on what was said earlier in reference to new members who may have proposals. Make sure you come to the UNIA and learn what the UNIA is about.
Yes.
So that way, and learn about the structure of our local and the structure of the parent body That way you can fit in where you want to fit in. And the other comment that I was just adding to what Brother Eric had shared in reference to traveling to the HEC and just letting everybody know it was in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and our delegation. And also, we have another weekly meeting, the Whirlwind Newsletter meeting,
Gotcha.
from 10 o'clock to noon every Sunday morning. And I got to big up our recording secretary, Brother Art, because he knows how to create the Whirlwind Newsletter. Let's say that. He's been on the staff since last November 2023 or October 2023. And he's been the historical features that you see in the Whirlwind Newsletter is due to Brother Art. He has added them to the Whirlwind Newsletter. So Brother Art, big up my brother, because you're stepping up in a real big time and saving us a lot of time, because usually to put out the Whirlwind Newsletter each week takes a minimum of 8 hours of work. And Brother Art has reduced that by taking responsibility on the staff of the Whirlwind Newsletter. So those were the things. It was only the one question I had as far as new members at Malcolm X Day and African Liberation Day.
I got you. Thank you. And yeah, please make sure. So Sister Cicely has expressed some interest in the Whirlwind newsletter. So I'll make sure she gets the information for the next week, Sunday, 10 to 12 a.m.
Excellent.
And one other correction, delegation, we had 6 total. So 5 traveled from Atlanta and 1 we met up there. So myself, Lady President, Brother Eric, Sister Diane, Attorney Imhotep traveled from Atlanta, and Sister Dr. Kuda met us. She traveled from New York, so it was 6 total from Atlanta.
True.
Okay, everyone's favorite time, member share. Brothers, as we know, we should be good listeners, and we allow our sisters to go first. I'll go to our sisters that maybe that haven't had a chance to share yet, starting with Sister Ifaniyi, member number 368 in Marietta, Georgia. Sister Ifaniyi, how you doing?
Grace first. Greetings, everyone. I'm enjoying the meeting and I have nothing to share. Just glad to be amongst you guys. Peace and blessings.
All right. Thank you, Sister Ifaniyi. Black Cross nurses, I haven't forgot. I don't know if we sent anything out to the mass members as of yet, but for our next Black Cross nurse meeting, I will send that out to general membership. So please be aware of that. Okay, that's Sister Ifaniyi, Sister Zafia, Dr. Zafia, member out of Baltimore Division 106. Dr. Zafia, you there? Dr. Zafia? Okay. All right, we'll keep moving. CVPM member 3,375 out of New Orleans, Sister Belinda.
Greetings, family. Grace first.
Grace first.
I just would like to thank you all for this have been a great meeting, for all the great work that everyone is doing. I just really want to let you know I'm very excited of being a part of the UNIA and the collective Black Power movement. So I just want to make sure that my membership is active, because I really, really want deep down in my heart to be active, so that those would be reoccurring payments every month of the membership dues for the UNIA. Okay. I have a few concerns. You know, I'm here in Louisiana. This is ground zero for you know, a lot of the corruption that's happening around the country, especially when it comes to people being wrongfully incarcerated. And we're in legislation session right now, and our new governor is a Republican, and he's pushing to have a convention to take us all the way back passed the Jim Crow laws. So I really want to share that and let you know that I'm actually, I'm in a battle here in Louisiana. Also, I wanted to know, do we have any of our family that's located in the Tampa, Florida area? I plan to be spending at least about 2 or 3 weeks in Florida at a court proceeding that's going to take place. I wanted to put that information in the chat. It's going to take place on September the 3rd, and it's going to be at the Middle District Court in Florida, in Tampa, Florida. And I wanted to put the address, and we're asking, it's kind of like an action alert. It's a clarion call for people to come and unite with us, because this court hearing, I don't know if you all are familiar with the African Socialist Party. They also kind of have, 50 years experience in this type of movement when it comes to people uniting and coming together for our sustainability, and pushing forth a lot of the what I want to say, self-sustainability for us as Black people here in America, and fighting for our rights in the struggle to basically be able to unite to do that. Like some of the awesome things I have heard that we all here with the UNIA is pushing to have our own credit union, doing things to unite our people and bring us together to better our communities. So this is an all-out attack against our First Amendment right to do that. I know for a fact, because whenever we step out and start uniting the people, or uniting Black people to come together for sustainability and, for hope and to better ourselves, it's, we always come up against this, this brick wall to stop us. And I know a lot of you know what I'm talking about. We lose our lives, we lose our livelihood, we come up under attack. I just, been surveilling, my phone, being tapped and all that kind of stuff, because we are doing some big things here in Louisiana in regards to, changing the way we're being treated here as Black people. And when I say that, it's more like they look for any opportunity possible to keep us enslaved here. And I really, really want to be a part of something to bring about the change that is going to, push back on that type of treatment. So this is the reason why I want us to, put it on our calendar. Whoever can, please try and, put the word out, that we're going to be at this trial, and it's a fight for our First Amendment right to have the voice to speak and push back on a lot of the white supremacists and things that happen to us when we try to advance ourselves or even evolve to make ourselves better and our community better, and our leave legacies for our children. They don't intend for us to do that. So I just want to let you know that there is a war to stop us from being able to unite and come together and do those things that we can, that we have done in the past, like the Black Wall Street and different things like that. We have to do it for ourselves. So I just want to put that information in the chat. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to share.
Not a problem. Thank you, Sister Belinda. Yes, please share any information in the chat, and any of our members in the Tampa area. When will you be in that area, Sister Belinda?
It's September the 3rd. It starts September the 3rd. People are coming from all over the world to stand with us in this struggle. And I really feel like it's going to be a lot of very powerful information put on the record to put the whole United States on trial when it comes to, you know, human rights violation, genocide, you know, all the things that we see happening to us, you know, the police brutality, everything.
Thank you, Sister Belinda. Yeah, please drop email contact or business number in the chat for us, please.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we'll keep it moving to our next sister, Sister Alexandria. Did you have anything you wanted to share with the family?
No, I would like to just let everyone know I'm praying for them. I'm writing down some prayer requests, so I'll keep you in prayer, Miss Sister Belinda, for your trip to Tampa. I have family out there. I'll call my cousin Tammy to see if you need anything in the city. She can help you out, and I'll be praying for your fight for the First Amendment rights, and still manifesting the credit union and your affiliations with the African Socialist Party. I would also like to receive some information for the prayer meetings that you say Sister Sally hosts. What day and time are those on?
Prayer meetings will be Monday, 8 p.m.
Mondays at 8 p.m.?
Yes, on this Zoom here.
Okay, so I know Brother Roz, Roz Marvin, he sent me this link to get on this meeting. Will somebody or Roz Marvin, can you send me the link so I can be on the one on Monday? I do have my email in the chat, Sister Silly, if you see it. May you copy it down and may you send me the link so I can be at the prayer meetings on the 8th. On Mondays at 8 p.m. And congratulations to your sewing kit. I'm happy for you. So you can make flags. And when you make a flag, let me know how much they cost. I'll buy one from you. And I also just keep me up in prayer that I get employment. I'm unemployed right now. I met a gentleman. He let me stay with him. So I'm staying here. And I'm looking for a job by the house. And that's all.
Thank you, Sister Alexandria. Thank you for those prayers. Keeping us all uplifted in prayer. We appreciate that. Any other sisters that did not get a chance to share? Sister Zafia, did you make it back? Were there any sisters that did not get a chance to share before we move to our brothers? And Sister Alexandria, I just saved your email, so I've got you included for future invitations. All right, if that concludes our sisters, then we will move to our brothers that have been patiently waiting.
President John.
Yes, Sister Cicely, yes.
Yeah, just one thing, Sister Alexandria, thank you for the support. I appreciate it. I just want to clarify, it's Cecily.
Cecily. I've been calling you Cicely as well.
It's okay.
Cecily. All right.
Cecily.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Cecily.
Cecily. All right. Well, we will move to our brothers. We start with member 172 out of Staten Island, New York, longtime supporter, Dr. Shams. Greetings, Dr. Shams.
Raise first.
Raise first.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the commentary, the reading on our founder and leader, the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey this evening, because I've been working on my website extensively and updating it. It's full of videos. Actually, people think it's a reading site. It's not a reading site. You would never want to look at TV again if you went to my website, because it's so full of current events. It has money making and job opportunities in there. You know, it can show you how to make an income to help us become independent and build up our bank that we want to create. It has unification in there. It has United Nations link in there for what the sister going through. I think it's Louisiana the sister's from. Yeah, United Nations and unification of member nations for specific purposes, such as what's happening there in New Orleans, I think it is. You know, it's just an extensive site, and it's a lot more to it than reading. It has current events. It has political events. You know, Donald Trump is featured in there and what he wants to do, you know, and the reason why he's going to fail anyway, hopefully, you know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, it's been there for some time. Some people have gone there, I guess. You know, I've been sending out emails, and I can continue to send out a few more emails, you know, pertaining to the presence of it. But I would just like feedback on it, you know. And it's not a book; it's a video. It's full of videos. You would never want to watch TV again. It's located on the internet at not helpful USA legislations people.brainsites.com. That's not helpful USA legislations people.brainsites.com. And my phone number, in case you want to contact me about it or anything else, is 1917 500 1699. 1917 500 1699. What I do is I'm in the sovereignty defense. I believe in international law, United Nations indigenous right laws, not just the U.S. Constitution. See, a lot of our people try to fight the U.S. with its own constitution. That's where we fail. When you fight the U.S. with its own constitution, they can do whatever they want to with you with that one. But if you know how to come at them with the right laws as explained in different portions and areas of my website under the international human rights laws and United Nations indigenous rights laws, you using complaints directed to the international courts and what have you. You know,
And you're 3 minutes, sir. All right.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, Secretary.
You get a much better result. Peace erase first.
Thank you, Dr. Shams. And if you could, please add your email, your website to the chat for those that just joined.
It's at the top of the chat. Just go in the chat and scroll all the way up to the top, and you'll see me right there. I wrote a statement in that I was going to read, but you know, instead of reading, I think I explained it myself a little bit better. Hopefully, I don't know. Maybe the reader do better justice, but it's in the chat at the very top of the chat.
Thank you, Dr. Shams. Excuse me. Next brother, longtime member out of Alexandria, Virginia, member number 292, Minister Monta. Greetings, Minister Monta.
Greetings.
Chaplain Mitchell. Greetings.
Yeah. Greetings. I know that it's been a long time. I've had some transitions in my family, so I haven't been on and staying tuned, but I would like to thank Brother Ross and Brother John for continuing to communicate with me, sending agendas and things of that nature to keep me posted on what's actually going on with the Collective Black People Movement and the UNIA-ACL. I don't have too much to say. I'm just going to tune in and listen, and I'll be keeping everyone in my prayers, and I pray that all is well with everyone. All right, peace.
Peace. Thank you, Minister Monta, and thank you for the prayers, and we continue to pray for you as well. We all have to pray for each other. Okay, getting through our brothers. Brother Nkosi, did you want to share anything? Member number 455 out of Birmingham. Thank you, Dr. Sham. Brother Nkosi, are you there? Are you able to speak?
I'm here. Race first.
Race first, brother.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Well, I'm gonna just get to. Well, first I wanted to ask about like some of the questions I have is like I feel like I have to be in a different position than I'm in right now, as far as I haven't even foregone through orientation. And the next thing I know, the questions that I have, I don't think I'm in the status I have as a human or as a knowing about the legal aspects of living and the economic, political, and spiritual aspects of living. I don't think I'm qualified to ask the questions that I have as well. I guess this is a precedent or a precedent to what I'm trying to bring forth. Also too, let me see. I know W. Du Bois had said something about like the educational system during the time that needed to be a systematic movement to educate Black people. That they have industrial education for us, but they teach you how to make a tool, but that's all they do. They don't teach you how to be a human or a man, a woman. And so I want to add this to my premise to the questions that I have. When it comes to what was it? Like, so when you come and understand that, Garveyism is a way a way to advance the African independently, universally, you're still kind of confined to the current, like the psychological barriers that you had before coming to know that, Garveyism is the way for Black people, for African people, for Negro people the world over. And so it's like, one could still, in attempting to re-Africanize oneself or to reorient oneself to the true way one should be as an African, as a Black person, as a man, as a human, you still could be hemorrhaged or retarded through being miseducated, privy to those pivotal developmental stages in your life, like those developmental life cycle ages that one goes through, and you can still be retarded as far as your development because you're still lingering or hindering on, let's say, to the white devil or to white Western society. And I hope I'm making some type of clarity. I know I'm kind of sporadic because I'm actually outside, so it's a lot of things going on, you feel me, that's not allowing me to stay focused, because I was trying to because I say this is for Black people, and I think I'm around a lot of Black people, but there are devils around, and there are, being that the economic ventures in the Black community is not primarily owned by Black people, so you never know who's really sprinkled in the Black communities, so-called Black communities, right? But so I said everything as far as I could clearly to hold as a premise to civilization science, civilization building. Like I wanted to, if given the pure opportunity to become a member and hopefully a leader of self within the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey movement, I wanted to hopefully get a firm grip on civilization building. That be like, Black people are making their own cars now. They are making their own cellular phones and things like that. But what, as far as I interpreted from the readings of Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, like I feel like one of the things we're doing wrong when we go into these educational schools, these educational systems, that be it, for the natural sciences, for the technical sciences, and even for the advanced sciences. I don't know if we kind of like transferring this into like civilization building for the Black community. I'll give you an example. As far as I know, Head Marvin, Ross Marvin, he was a mechanical engineer and did a lot of aerospace. He had aerospace wherewithal, aerospace science wherewithal, and so he.
Your 3 minutes are up.
Thank you. Race first. I'll leave it there. I say race first.
Thank you, brother Kosi. We go talk more. Yeah, we're gonna talk more. I need you. Orientation. Are you getting the emails for orientation on Saturdays?
that's what I was talking about as far as like the civilization science. Like I'm not alive on my own means, so it's like everything when it comes to nation building within or civilization science when it, through Garveyism, it's like I'm getting a huge lag with that. So I don't know. Like no, I'm not. I'm to sum it up. No, I'm not. I'm not getting anything.
Okay. All right. I'll reach out to you, and we'll get that addressed. We got one other brother. Okay. Yeah. We got one other brother. And Attorney Motep as Sergeant of Arms. If you could give members like a 30-second heads up before we call time.
Will do.
Excellent job. An excellent suggestion. So I think last brother Najee. Greetings, brother Najee. One of our newer members here in Atlanta. Brother Najee, you there?
Yes, I'm here. I just want to say I appreciate the meeting. It's very informative. Look forward to continuing to grow within the movement, and I want to thank you for having me.
Not a problem. Thank you, brother Najee, for joining. Any comments you had in regards to African Liberation Day yesterday?
Not specifically. It was a really good and informative presentations that they had, different reports. A lot of very like-minded people to be around. So it was very uplifting, I would say the least.
Thank you, brother. But yeah, so yeah, were there any other members, anyone that did not get a chance to share that would like to, that I missed, basically? If not, we are 18 minutes over.
President John, I just want to let everyone know I put the information in the chat. This race first.
Thank you, Sister Belinda. With that, we will prepare to close out. I'm going to turn off the recording, and we will close out with the Ethiopian anthem.